Okay. Oh, we're already on air. Look at that. We're live.
We are live.
Welcome, everybody.
Whew, this is going to be interesting.
Before the Green. What a great race.
We've never done this immediately following a race.
We have not. I don't even remember what
Starting to
happened.
know why. Kyle Larson ruined Martin Truex's day and then went on to win in typical Hendrick fashion.
He sure did. He won.
With the help of NASCAR once again.
Here we go.
Oh, I didn't even bring that up.
I can't hear you there, Donnie. The crown jewels are in my ears. You know, I can't.
I don't know if staying up this late to do this is the wisest decision, but
it's only
a horrible one.
But yeah.
Yeah, but usually we're finishing up at 9 on a Monday.
Yeah. And usually I got a day to get rid of all this negative energy and not say the first thing that comes to mind. Usually I get the R-rated stuff out in the group chat before I show.
Should we just do the outro now then and call it a night?
No, I want to go over picks at least.
Oh, no, we don't got to do that.
Yeah,
that was just a train wreck, not today.
It was Rex, but
yeah.
All right, well, do we want to talk about the race?
All right, fine. Let's talk about this. So during the initial round of pit stops, both Chase Elliott and Brad Keselowski were penalized after going beyond the blend line and onto what NASCAR determined to be the racing surface of the track. Following the penalty, Chase Elliott had some very choice words for NASCAR. We've cleaned this up a bit, but here's a paraphrase of his quote. Bunch of piece of adjective adverbs sitting up there, not doing an adjective thing about the verbiage they gave us was Chase's opinion and comments warranted in this situation.
Do you know how much I laughed writing that out?
Oh, man. He wasn't happy. We'll go with that.
No, he was very unhappy.
Yeah.
I think it's warranted, obviously, just because it happened to Keselowski, too. Like, if it's just one guy, then you got to be like, maybe you just heard them wrong, Chase, or you read it wrong. But when somebody else in a different, team, manufacturer altogether is reading the same thing, and, these are NASCAR champions, like, it's not like some rookie that, messed up. Like, I think this is on NASCAR. Once again, NASCAR just starting off the day in the worst way. And, I mean, for me to be like, hey, that's a dumb penalty to call on Chase Elliott, it's got to be a pretty bad penalty to call.
He must have thought he could only have 2 lines over the line or 2 tires, sorry.
Well, they're talking the racing line.
It just makes sense to me that don't cross the line. I feel like there must have been something there that someone didn't understand. I don't know.
Well, they're reading as the line on the track. Like if you're, you know what I mean? Like you can't cross up into somebody's line and then come back down. But they're allowed on the racing surface. And I mean, they've done this. Like this has never been called before. So,
yeah, I think it's one of those situations where the drivers probably looked at it and said, "Ooh, that's just vague enough where I can probably get away with it." And I think that's probably what happened here. What's surprising is both of those drivers ended up, obviously through strategy and stuff, both of them ended up having decent days after that. Now they didn't both end up having a decent day, obviously, but they both got to the front, ran up well and stuff like that again. So it wasn't like it ended their day, but it was weird. When I saw it, I thought that doesn't seem right. What he did, like with Chase Elliott going way out there, Keselowski to me seemed way less egregious. I will say that, like Chase Elliott.
I mean, Larson crossed the line too, and they didn't say anything about it.
Yeah,
like not as much as Chase, but I mean,
tires
the rule's the rule. Then
right. So I don't really like that rule. I think it should. I shouldn't say I don't like the rule. I like the idea that you can't just go wherever you want, exiting pit lane, but I don't like how it's worded. I think it's stupidly vague, unnecessarily vague. Even Jeff Burton actually called them out pretty bluntly on the broadcast and said, why can't you just make a rule black and white, which really makes sense, right? If there's 2 lines there,
bring color into it.
If there's 2 lines there, it should be very easy to say, your car cannot exceed this point, whether it's the right sides or whatever.
Cross the line.
I think it's just another example of NASCAR putting themselves in, like, creating gray areas that don't need to be gray areas. Does that make sense? Like, that could so easily have been a clearly written rule. Like, hey, you can't cross the first white line or the second white line. Like, pick your line, sure, but stick with it. And instead, they had this mess and happened to two very popular drivers. It's not like Cody Ware got penalized for this, right? Like, it's two drivers that have legitimate fan bases in our sport, and you put them at a disadvantage in what is a crown jewel event. You know, it's just kind of foolishness, in my opinion, to put yourself in that kind of a situation.
I mean, like, Cody Ware has been known to cross the line too, so the fact that he wasn't involved in this, interesting to say.
It's true.
I don't want to beat a dead horse or a girlfriend, so we'll move it along.
Oh my goodness.
All right, and with that, we'll go to the next topic. So one of the favorites for the day, William Byron, ended up being involved in an early wreck, sending him to the garage and out of the race. This team started extremely hot, including winning 3 races, but has since gotten very quiet over the last 13, in which they failed to win. Other playoff contenders and hopefuls, such as Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, and Martin Truex Jr., also had wrecks ending the races. How much of a negative is this as we head into a 2-week break for the Olympics?
Honestly, it's great for Truex. I love to see the consistency. So, I mean, that's what we lacked last year in the playoffs. So, that we're consistent week in and week out.
We should know what to expect, right?
Right?
Just heartbreak every week.
Honestly, like I said, we got 2 weeks off now for him to go fishing, gather his thoughts, and then we're headed into Richmond. It's all going to be all right.
But do you think he can find a crew chief while he's fishing?
I mean, I'm hoping. If not, at least he can maybe try and drown one.
That took me a second.
I feel like we're just one small change away from being good.
Yeah, you think?
Yep. Change small and we'll be good.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I would much rather be someone like Kyle Larson, you know, winning to cap off and then like kick off your 2-week break. But long story short, these guys are all in the playoffs. I don't really think that their focus is on these next 3 weeks as far as, you know, you're definitely going to prepare more for your playoffs. Perhaps not as much for guys like Denny Hamlin, who's fighting for that regular season point or championship, right? And those 15 bonus points. That's obviously quite critical for that guy. But, you know, overall, I think one race is one race, and it was kind of a mess for everybody. You know, the only person who did come out of here looking really good was Kyle Larson. And maybe you could say Tyler Reddick is in that mix too, of guys that came out of here looking good. Without getting into the next topic, at least. So, you know, I think it's going to be fine. Hopefully. I was a little concerned when I saw the wreck, and then I saw Alex's interview after. He seemed a little somber, and I'm a little paranoid, hoping that everything's good there. But man, that looked like a hard hit, and he was real like, duh. Like it was real. Yeah, for normally
anytime you got a history of
who are we talking about? Sorry, Kyle Busch?
Alex
Bowman. Oh yeah, I missed that.
Yeah. They did a post media or infield care center interview with him, and he was like,
really?
Yeah, he looked okay, but like his tone and everything was real like somber, and yeah. Anyway, it is what it is, but I'm hoping that's not
another 2 years, Donnie?
Yeah.
If it is a concussion, I hope he's cleared to come back for Richmond.
Hope it's not his back.
Right.
Listen, they were hard hits, some of those. But should be all right.
And I think a lot of these guys have short memories too. They'll 2 weeks off, they'll come back ready to race. I don't think it's gonna.
Concussion, right?
Well, yeah. So you don't remember nothing.
Host of our Better Hope Logano has a short memory. That's all I can say.
Yeah, Logano does not have a short memory.
No.
There's one guy in the field that doesn't.
But I also don't think that was really Hocevar causing that, really. Like Hocevar just held his lane.
Yeah.
All right. So Bubba Wallace came into the day looking like he was nearly in a must-win situation. However, with relatively poor days for both Chris Buescher and Ross Chastain in comparison to his own top 5 finish, Bubba is very close to being able to point his way in. Obviously, there are circumstances such as additional winners on the season that could derail that, but is it possible for Bubba to make the playoffs at this point, and do you think he accomplishes the task?
It's definitely possible, but I think he needs to send a fruit basket to Joey Logano and thank him for not wrecking him earlier in the day. So that block he threw on him was ridiculous.
That was pretty ridiculous.
Like, even Joey said, I'll give him one, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, somebody let that kid know. But I've called this from weeks ago. I think Bubba is the driver to beat to get into this. I know he's not in the spot where he wants to be yet, but I think he's got the best equipment, the best chance of getting in, and especially the way that these other guys are driving right now. Like, Buescher's picking a horrible time to drop off. So
is Ross. Yeah, no, I agree.
And again, Bubba's got good tracks coming up. Like, we got Daytona, we got, so
yeah.
Michigan.
Michigan too. Yeah.
I just took a chance and looked just to see if there happened to be an update at this point, and like, Bubba's only 7 points behind Ross Chastain for the final spot, right? Well, it's only 10 more points to Chris Buescher. It's only 42 to Ty Gibbs, and Ty Gibbs 2 weeks in a row has had engine issues, right? Like, he's definitely not a lock by any stretch. I think the only one who probably is pretty safe is Truex, but even him, you get a new race winner or two, and he's only 60 points above Ty Gibbs. It's I will say, I think what works in Bubba's advantage here is he's been in this situation pretty near every year of his career, right? As far as he understands the pressure and what it takes to do it and all that stuff. And today he closed that gap by, I think, 20 points on that 16th spot. So he's doing
first
what he needs
stage win
to do.
since 2022.
Sorry?
Like, first stage win since 2022. Like,
really? He never won a single stage last year?
Nope.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's 10 points to the good right there that you're, that's the stuff that he's good at and what he needs to do. And he's just consistently finds a way to get it done. So,
and actually that also gives him a playoff point should he get in, right? So,
yeah,
improving your seed position there is not a bad thing. I realize 1 point, probably doesn't put you above anyone.
Sometimes what it comes down to.
Right. Like, it's it could be make or break on the end of a season.
Yep.
My only concern is there's one crazy guy right next to him, Ross Chastain. You don't know what he could do.
My bigger concern,
or what he's willing to do.
My bigger concern would be someone getting a win behind them. There's not many there that I'm overly eager about, but you look at someone like Kyle Busch. If he can put a race together, he's definitely got the skill. I know he hasn't been putting races together, but he's the type of guy that can. Or you come to Daytona. Well, Bubba's a lock to do well there too when things go right. But at the same point, that's kind of anyone else's race too, right? Like, you look at a guy like McDowell could walk in there and have a really good run, or pretty much anybody. Daytona is
Austin Dillon wins and Kyle Busch doesn't get in.
Or let's be serious too for a second. Chris Buescher could very well. I guess Chris Buescher's in the playoff picture, but he won there last year to keep guys out, and he could very well do it again. It's kind of a whole different ball game than anywhere else.
For sure. All right. Where are we at here? So various late race cautions allow Brad Keselowski to stretch his fuel considerably longer than anticipated, getting him to within 3 laps of the checkered flag before the second last caution of the day came out due to Kyle Busch spinning. As it came around for the restart, Brad followed the pace car to pit road. Had the caution not come out, do you feel as though Brad could have made it to the checkered flag under his own power and potentially gotten a second win on the season? I think yes, and I think it would have caused a whole lot of drama wondering what's going on with those Ford cars.
I actually do too, because I don't think they use a whole lot more under green flag the way they were running than they do under caution. Like, no, like, don't get me wrong. They obviously use more, but I don't think they use like a 3-to-1 ratio. You know what I mean?
I don't
Yeah,
think
no, I disagree with you. Like, there's no way he had the fuel to finish that out.
No, I don't know,
No.
man.
No.
Like the other thing you think too, like all he had to do was make it back to the white flag, and if a caution came out, like he was only a lap and a half away from the white.
Yeah, but no.
yeah.
I mean, Larson
should have been out way
before
before
if he did.
He should have been out way before he was. I agree.
Like,
The boy was saving fuel. I don't know what him and Logano and those four guys got going on, but the broadcast booth does not appear to know what their fuel mileage is.
no,
I'd be checking their water bottles, like if they're in there and like squeezing someone to a fuel line, you know, like come on,
you can do it. Yeah, I mean, because we saw Logano, they said he went 10 laps longer than he should have the other week too. Actually, that was one thing I was worried about, is having another. Was it Nashville where they all ran out and it was just a mess? I didn't want that either. You know what I mean? Partly because we were recording tonight and I didn't want to wait that long. But I mean, it was. I was worried it would turn out into that, but I don't know. It's one of those things that you kind of wish you could have seen it play out. But it was definitely at a point where it wasn't going to matter if the.
Did you not call your parole officer today, Evan?
What's that?
Did you not call your parole officer today?
Well, because the siren.
You got something you need to take care of.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough area here that I live in. You know. Yeah. Luckily, I got my finger on the pulse of the community, so I keep it under wraps.
Yeah. So something we don't talk about.
DoorDash was late, so he called the cops on him.
Like Cody, where I got my thumb on the pulse.
Oh gosh.
Something we don't talk about that kind of made me not upset, but wondering, is NBC switched the race over to USA at the last, when everything went red.
Right.
That's a little ridiculous to me, but.
What drove me crazy is that they kept saying, due to the breaking news today, but never once said what the breaking news was. I mean, we all know what it was, with Biden announcing he was, withdrawing from the race, but just say it. You know what I mean?
I just hope they told Biden that he withdrew.
I mean, what are you going there to break? No, he's still napping. I guess we could have stayed with the race.
I'm not a fan of for one, once they switched it to USA, they should have stayed on USA.
Yeah, at the first, right
in
from
many
the
ways.
get-go.
I don't know. The switching back and forth from a week-to-week basis is confusing enough. Let's not do it 3 times in one race. I think it was 3 times, right? Switch to USA from NBC, back to NBC, and then back to USA. Yeah, 3 times in one race. I mean, that's just foolishness.
I mean, we could watch TSN,
streaming
but
network.
Pinties.
Yeah, then you see Pinties all the time.
Yeah, I hate watching TSN.
Yeah.
When it was on NBC, I went over to NBC, but when it went back to USA, I had to switch back to TSN.
Oh yeah, you don't have USA?
No.
All right. So, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, apparently I did something real bad.
All right, Indianapolis.
I'll be on in a minute. Just let me finish the podcast.
You're going to have to come carry me down the stairs.
Don't.
What?
I don't know. Just don't.
I just said I have to sit like this the rest of the podcast.
Okay. Yep. Perfect. I just know your sense of humor, and I don't want us to get canceled. So.
Oh no, I wasn't going anywhere near. I know what you're thinking. So does everyone else listening, I'm sure.
All right, so Indianapolis turned out to be very much what we had come to expect from the Oval over the years, with it being very much a follow the leader, somewhat strung out type of race where strategy ruled the day more than speed. Most of the drivers complained about the inability to pass, and yet we were able to watch as Kyle Larson work his way from outside the top 20 to win the race in the final stage. What is different about the number 5 team that allows them to elevate above the other teams and do what they can't? They are just that good.
Oh, they're driving bumper cars instead of NASCARs.
Okay. Here we go.
No, you said it wasn't. Oh, no, it was Corey who said it wasn't Kyle Larson's fault.
Yeah.
Truex incident, yeah.
No, and I stick to that.
Yeah, I mean, tires always go
It
flat.
was Chastain that doored Truex with the 5 car.
Yeah,
He
it was
didn't
remote control.
door Truex. Like there was not that much contact, not any more than Truex got into Larson before that incident.
I was actually, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah,
I
and
thought
that would be blamed on the one.
Yeah, I blame the one.
Yeah, I blame Chastain for Truex getting into Larson.
Yeah, but in Larson's defense,
there's no
Larson doesn't know what's happening there. He's not seeing Chastain check up.
You know you're racing Martin Truex Jr., the cleanest guy in the field who doesn't race guys hard or dirty.
He's desperate.
So like, give him the benefit. No, yeah, he should start, but like, there's guys where you have to give the benefit of the doubt, and that's one of them. Like, if you can race Denny Hamlin as clean as you race him, and how dirty Denny's been to you, I think you can show a little grace to Martin and think, hey, you know, that's probably not intentional because this isn't how this guy usually runs.
Heat of the moment. No one really knows what's going on.
I don't know. Maybe he flashed back to Richmond and was like, you know what? He does door me sometimes.
Richmond's going to be different this time around.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be nowhere near the front from the beginning to the end. Is that what you're thinking? Or?
Yeah, he almost won.
Just wait.
Yeah, he did till we had the jump of the century.
Yeah.
And NASCAR's like, nah, it's fine.
It's
a gray area. We don't tolerate.
Like, NASCAR helps your guys. It's like NASCAR gifts Kyle Larson the win today.
Gifts it to him.
Andy gifts Bowman.
How does
Chicago,
he gift the win to him today?
Truex has the win. It's like, now we're actually going to take that
it.
away from you.
You are full of it.
He is full of it.
Yeah.
Man, those Toyota blinders is just like.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can see your argument for today because they probably should have thrown the caution before the white came out.
And I don't disagree about that, but how do you do that when you have?
But not only that,
15 guys about ready to run out of gas. Like, you know, like that race is gonna like they had to end it.
But here's my issue. Okay, even if they did, I don't think it would have changed who won that race.
No, for sure. But you have to be consistent, and you have to just for the optics of it. Like, you got Chase Elliott who wrecks the guy, and then you get Kyle Larson that, you know, oh no, let him take the white flag before we throw it. Because then if we can say, hey, Kyle Larson came back and won Indy, and then, you know, it hypes it all up for next year. Like, they got the story they wanted.
They did.
I think
Chase Elliott was the one guy in the field who didn't want Larson to win personally. But.
I will say, I just realized what you meant by teammates helping teammates.
No.
I didn't pick up on. I didn't realize it was Chase that took Priest out.
It was,
but I will agree with Korey. I don't think
Priest was not close to moving. Like,
no, but
like consistency.
No, I understand.
I do not take away from Larson. The guy had the car. Like, no one was gonna beat him fairly. You know
I get
what
you're saying, consistency, but I also see why NASCAR didn't throw the caution this time.
100%, because they got the story they wanted. Larson comes back to Indy and wins.
It's more than that. Like, there was a lot. Like, it was going to cause a lot of chaos. Throw another caution.
Yeah, I don't think they want to see another national.
We just so this goes right back to Truex. Denny jumped it, but we don't want to cause chaos or call it this late in the race. So sorry, Martin, you're screwed out of a win. Well, sorry, guys, we're just going to hand this one to Larson because there could be chaos and we just don't want you to race. Like, that's BS. Like,
I don't disagree. But
NASCAR is chaos.
That's the way they've been calling it. So what can you do? Like,
no.
I don't know. I just think Martin should go up there and earn a win.
Hey, maybe they'll gift someone like your boy.
They didn't gift him nothing. Everybody knew.
Alex Bowman probably doesn't remember he won Chicago after his hit today. So. Don't be too excited.
It's cute that you think Martin remembers his last win. You better hope he doesn't remember his last playoffs for the next 2 weeks. He might retire early.
There was actually more controversy too, about the whole when Brad pulled off in the pit road, who got the.
Oh yeah,
Larson jumped there.
Well, I don't know. I think they both went pretty much the same time, but I don't think either one of them knew what the rule was.
They don't go the same time.
I think Blaney should have stayed off the gas and let Larson get the penalty.
Well, they didn't call it. Larson already jumped them anyway.
No, I really don't. I like that to me was that to me. I don't think you could optically look at that and say, yeah, I think Larson jumped it.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I watched it 2 or 3 times. It's
like,
pretty close.
To me, like
Well, you would be the guy that has an unbiased opinion, Corey. I mean, no, he didn't wreck Truex at all. He didn't get into him. No, he's telling me this first time.
I will say I don't think you can put your hands up and say the Toyota blinders are real and then say Larson didn't cause that incident. To be fair, your integrity is a little compromised in this moment.
As is Larson's. Oh shoot, Denny roughed me up again. Well, nothing I can do. What's that? Truex is beside me. Let me try and wreck him. Like,
just to be clear, that's not my body. That's a vehicle outside.
Sure, bud.
Sound like Truex driving by.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you guys think? You want to go into the caution break segment?
Sure. What do you got for us?
All right.
You shouldn't do this right after the race. We get too worked up. Like, this is not good. Thank goodness we got 2 weeks to recover.
Right. Man, if Richmond doesn't go my way, I'll probably just rage quit. I can't see and like wait until Monday to fix that.
Man, Truex runs good at Michigan too.
So we are going to do a somewhat of a bracket event. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 2 particular races and you can tell me which one you think is the race that you're like more excited about. So if you know what's coming up on the schedule, you're like, oh, I can't wait for that one. Okay. What we're going to do is we're basically going to do a bracket, eventually come up with a winner. There is a chance your favorite race isn't on here. I'm sorry. I threw this together because I forgot that we were recording tonight. So this was a little bit of short notice, but I'm going to give you 2 races. If it comes up as a tie, we'll have to defend your stance on that. And I'll pick the winner from the 2 of you. Fair enough?
Yeah. Hispanic.
What?
Oh, races.
Oh, jeepers.
I misunderstood the rules.
I think you did. Okay. Let's go with we're going to start off top. Bristol night race or Chicago street course?
Oh, that's tough, but Bristol night race.
I got to go with Bristol.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What about you, Donnie?
History. Bristol.
You said Bristol.
Oh, I thought you said that's tough with Bristol night race. Sorry. All right.
No.
I actually
just something about a night race, really. Like night races to me are just.
Let's be clear. There's something about Saturday night races. This whole Sunday 8 p.m. start time nonsense is for the birds.
Yeah.
All right.
Or Sunday at 5, but we have to be done by dark.
Daytona 500 or championship weekend?
500.
Daytona 500.
Okay. See, that one I kind of expected. But I don't know. I think for me, if championship weekend was somewhere other than Phoenix, it might change that a bit. Brickyard 400, to be clear, on the oval, or the Charlotte Roval?
Charlotte Roval.
I don't know. I don't really remember the Roval, but I got to go with the Brickyard just because I don't like road races much.
Ooh, okay. Oh, you don't like road racing? That makes sense.
I like it, but just I'd rather see it on the oval.
Yeah. I actually think I'm probably going to side with you, Corey, for a couple of reasons. One, the prestige of Indy.
Yeah, it's pretty prestigious.
As much as it's a very more of a strategy race typically than a fastest car wins race. I like that. And the second big factor I have is I think we have too many road course races on our schedule currently, and Charlotte's one of our best oval races. So the fact that we get screwed out of a second date to have that oval race kind of sits with me poorly. So I think for me, that's why I picked the Brickyard. But yeah, I can definitely see why.
Al Larson doesn't even run it.
Touche. All right. Let's go with New Hampshire, New Hampshire, Corey, or Richmond.
Ooh, Richmond.
New Hampshire.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't really have a preference between these two. How am I going to pick a tie? Korey convinced me why New Hampshire or Richmond's better.
I don't know. I just like Richmond better.
Okay.
More banking, a little more speed, I guess.
Okay. Very convincing. Donnie, New Hampshire?
Oh, less banking. It's kind of fun. It's one of the only tracks where it's more flat. We got the Lobster. We have Toyota Dominance. Chris Bell runs awesome there. Truex has a win there. That's our hometown track, basically. And yeah.
I do like the lobster trophy idea. Would refuse to eat it because I hate seafood. But yeah, I've always had an affinity for short tracks, but I actually do think New Hampshire does have a special place. I'm gonna go with Donnie on that one. I'm gonna stick with New Hampshire.
I didn't love it, I guess, because it was rainy this year. I don't know. It just
I get that.
wasn't as exciting for me as Richmond was.
It doesn't make you right, but I get it.
It's fine.
All right, so back to the top of the bracket, we have Bristol Night Race versus the Daytona 500.
Daytona.
Yeah.
I think against any of the other races, Bristol probably takes that one. But Daytona 500 is pretty special. All right, so that puts the
Bristol back in the day, though. I don't know, when the place was packed, like that was pretty.
Back when it was literally one lane.
Yeah.
All right, that sets us up with Brickyard 400 versus New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Brickyard.
Over Brickyard?
Yeah, like I know you're like prestige, but like it's an IndyCar track. Like it doesn't run as well in NASCAR. Like it's not a great race.
I agree, but just
I mean, this has been better than what it is, but like it's not an exciting race. Like New Hampshire is fun.
Is it normally, or are we just thinking because it rained this year it was fun?
No, it was great. Like I love it.
I don't think I can take New Hampshire over Brickyard.
Just listen to the guys this week. Like it was special for them being there. Like,
when's the last time we switched New Hampshire to a road course because it sucks so bad? We haven't, because it's been good. Why do we get rid of the Brickyard? Because it sucked. But hey, it's still prestigious, so let's run a road course. Oh wow, the road course sucks here too. I guess we'll go back to the other race that sucks so bad we had to change it, but still sucks less than this one. But yeah, sure, better than New Hampshire. Like bring a brick to New Hampshire if you want to kiss it, and then
that is a convincing argument. So we're gonna go to New Hampshire. It is pretty hard to debate that. All right, so that puts us Daytona 500 against New Hampshire. Go ahead, Donnie.
Daytona. I can't argue New Hampshire on that one. Yeah.
But there's a lobster.
Lobster. Wicked awesome. Fast cars.
Okay, so now that Daytona 500 has won this bracket challenge, let me ask you this as one final question. Given the opportunity to pick any race and pit it against the Daytona 500 and have it win, which race would you put there?
Like just any track, or like what race?
Any track or race. The definition we've been using on
the championship race at Homestead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love Homestead, man.
I agree.
Will never beat the Daytona 500.
Really?
Yeah, like it's like what course is better in Indy than the Indy 500? Like they all suck. Like that was boring racing, but like no one's going to tell you, oh, this is better than Indy. Like we start the year off at Daytona. Like, man, it's just like
actually
we have the shortest off season in sports, and like we can't wait to get to Daytona. Like the duels, everything. Like it's just like there's Daytona's almost separate from NASCAR. Like it's its own thing, and then you have the season. Like you could make Daytona not even points, and it would still be Daytona.
Okay, that's fair. I will say historically, I've always loved like the short tracks, the Martinsvilles and the Bristols. Unfortunately, they suck in this car. But then again, so does Daytona in many ways. It's just a fuel mileage, like 2 stages of saving fuel, and then the third one, whoever wants to go get it, just pass everybody kind of thing. So like historically, I would always say those. I do get what you're saying with that. But I think I put the Coca-Cola 600 right up there with it. I think there's something just super special about, Memorial Day weekend and that particular race. Obviously we don't celebrate Memorial Day up here, but the pomp and circumstance that comes with that race, and the fact it is 600 miles and it takes a special kind of talent to do that. The fact it's pretty much always a fantastic race, except for that one year Martin Truex just destroyed everybody.
That was a great race.
It was boring as all get out because there was nothing to watch. But yeah, I will say, come December, I'll be like, all right, it's time for Daytona. Yeah. I will
But
give you that.
Do you feel like it's so special because we were waiting for the race for 2 or 3 months?
To
Like,
me,
if it was in the middle of the
because
season,
it's what I grew up on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's years where like that would be what I watched, and that was, as a kid, like that's what you remember. Like,
But if it was in the middle of the season, would it still have the prestige that it does? I
no,
don't know.
like the Coke Zero 400 isn't like, I mean, it's a great race. Like I'm excited for it, but like,
oh yeah, we haven't.
It doesn't have that same. No, like it's not as exciting as.
Yeah.
You know, you say that, but Under the Lights, man,
it is. Cool.
Oh, it's like I said, it's awesome.
Pretty special,
like,
but it's
probably top 5 race on the season, but like it isn't the Daytona 500.
I get that. Yeah.
It's like Bristol. It's a great race. Bristol at night, it's even,
Yeah.
it's even better. Well, like Daytona under the lights is awesome, but Daytona 500, you can't beat it.
Well, looks like that's our pick for the night. I guess that's as good a segue as anything. Since we've made one pick, we might as well make some more.
Yeah.
Sounds like I won. I'm not sure how we do that.
Yeah, that don't count for a point though, buddy.
It's all right.
Some of us are over here, going back to back and stuff.
Man, full of confidence.
Yeah,
I feel good.
Something.
I feel real good.
Evan with the point with his pick of Brad Keselowski in his 21st place finish.
Right.
Just going to give you guys the rundown here. I could have picked Todd Gilliland, Austin Cindric, Noah Gragson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Garrison Osavar, Corey LaJoy, Zane Smith, Cody Ware, part-time Ty Dillon, Justin Haley, and I could have got a point with any of those. But no, I had to go with Josh Berry and finish 35th after laughing so hard at Corey for picking Byron and finishing 38th. So, like, could not have gone worse for me. Like, within a matter of 5 seconds, Truex gets wrecked, and somehow Josh Berry, 19 spots behind, finds a way to get involved in it too. Like, just garbage.
I just want to point out that I'm the only one who got a point with Byron this year. Who saw that coming?
Right.
So far, I guess
we garbage though. Like he shouldn't even have been in that situation. He just.
I don't know. Drive a garbage-looking car, get a garbage-looking result.
I don't hate the look of that car.
You don't hate that car?
Don't know.
I would buy that diecast just so there was one less in the world. Not really.
Yeah.
My diecast collection is perfectly curated.
Anyways, back to my segment.
Sorry, brother.
Yeah. Basically, that's how it all shook out. Evan has the lead for the first time since Phoenix this year. Standalone. He's feeling pretty confident going back to back. And with that, you get first pick. Head into Richmond.
I think what throws the kink in this one is how you work with that optional tire that we're going to have in Richmond.
That is, that could be interesting.
So, like, you want to have someone that has a really good crew chief.
At least.
So I'm gonna go with the guy who has Kyle Busch's old crew chief, who won just about everything there was to win when he was with him. I'm gonna go with Mr. Christopher Bell.
What a surprise!
It's not a surprise at all, but I'm good with it. I mean, we gotta wait 2 weeks for these picks to have any points. This sucks. Screw the Olympics.
I'd wait 3 weeks at this point.
All right,
All right. Like I said, my pick going with Martin Truex Jr. I'm going to beat around the bush. We got to get it done.
Here it
Richmond's
is.
going to be it.
It's time.
And yeah, 2 weeks time, I'll be saying, you know what? Richmond's better than New Hampshire. That's what I'm hoping.
You already picked Truex once this year. I bet you get the same amount of points.
Oh, shut up.
Well, I'm going to pick Mr. King of Restarts at Richmond. Hopefully.
You can't both take Truex.
No, I'm going Denny Hamlin.
Dennis.
Hoping to jumpstart your
Hey,
picks
man,
again.
whatever it takes. I'm
So,
all for it.
Apparently, we're going big on JGR, right?
Yeah. Time. It's going
For
to
the
be good.
first time ever, I've got my next 4 picks mapped out.
Do you have your next 4?
Well, yeah, including this race. I have them all mapped out for the first time ever.
I don't know Daytona, but who really knows Daytona?
Yeah,
I do.
I just threw a dart at my available picks and said that'll work.
Basically.
I took Haley in February, so I
Looks
mean,
like I should have done that this week.
Yeah, really, right? Like,
Unreal.
I can't believe
I
you picked
never-
Cody Ware and beat me.
Like that.
Ty Gibbs, bro.
Ty Gibbs.
Not Ty Gibbs, sorry, Ty Dillon.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah, Ty Gibbs blew up or something.
Did he blow up?
Well, he was running poorly or something.
Okay.
I think he actually finished the race though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those boys got to get that engine department figured out.
Stepping
That's all I'm saying.
He finished 23rd.
It's gonna be crazy when we get to Richmond. And all 3 JGR cars blow up.
We're done the podcast if that happens.
No.
I mean, as long as it's Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, Ty Gibbs, I'm all right.
Yeah, I guess I did say all 3, didn't I?
Yep.
Ugh.
Well, guys, I'm going into the break pretty good.
Yeah, well,
You're
I'm
in
going
last
to-
place.
I'm
No,
going
I
to.
don't care about that. I'm just Larson.
Okay.
Actually, I will say I never
4.
would have thought at the beginning of the year that with 4 races left, we'd basically be in a dead heat tie.
Right? Like it's some pretty.
Yeah, I think
Well-
everyone's expecting me to run away with it, but
No.
It's
I'll let
not
you
what I was
guys
expecting.
keep it interesting for sure. I don't want to be the same beat down that was last year and be accused of being a Cody Ware to the podcast. So
I will say this. I'm not really looking forward to the stress of having all the drivers back.
Right?
And having to pick from all of them. Like, it's going to be too much.
And we're all gonna want the same driver at the
Oh,
same
yeah.
places. Like it's
Yeah. And like, it's only 10 races, so there's no like, I'll lay up this week. No, you
Yeah.
go.
No.
Oh,
Sure.
it's going to be,
Harrison Burton in Kansas. I hope I get him.
Yeah.
don't worry, buddy. You got him.
We'll give them to you right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you say, boys? Might as well take it on out of here, eh?
Let's
Go for it.
All right. Well, listen, thank you guys all so much for listening in each and every week. We really appreciate the support. Hope you've been enjoying the content. Trying to be a little more proactive on getting some extra stuff out there for you guys, like reels and things like that. But nonetheless, if you want to keep on top of that stuff, when we do post it, make sure to follow us on all of our social medias, including Facebook, Instagram, X, or formerly Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And even on TikTok, we do from time to time post on there as well. But regardless, we hope you enjoy the 2 weeks without us. We'll miss you guys, I'm sure, just as much as you miss us. I know they won't miss us.
I won't
Don't
think
worry.
about you at all.
I know you won't. You'll probably be in the Discord crying when they announce Martin Truex regrets his decision or some nonsense.
Truex taking early retirement. No longer gonna run the rest of the schedule.
You guys suck.
He's gonna pull a Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I think I'm out, guys. I'm out of the race.
No, Joe Biden's actually finishing his term. So
But anyway, thank you so much. We will see you in 2 weeks' time after Richmond. Enjoy your Olympic break.
let's go, Larson.